Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Right? So these are very important for the individuals also. Those are there in the companies, those are there in the roles. Aspiring to a bigger role is a different from am I ready for that role, because that role asks much more. Wisdom alone is not that. You as an individual, as a persona, you are a persona of so many things. Think of so many things. Why am I asking? I think I'll give you this example also if everybody joins. I think,
Uh, Ma'am, just little more. I would like to connect this subject.
yeah, sure.
It's also offered by the IITs, but it's a too long course, especially for all. I think IIT Delhi is offering diploma in not certificate course in DTI, Design Thinking and Innovation.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, ma'am, this course is also it was part of my master's in development studies
Okay.
in the name of dynamics of development.
Okay.
Change management is fully. And the
Mm.
biggest challenge what we have observed there is what you have rightly pointed out by this example of cutting hairs and all. The change of social behavior.
Yeah.
Till the time people, the mass does not accept the notion, the training is of no use. We are going to the end of going too much technical. I think the three steps initial,
Yeah.
quotas,
Yeah.
the initial three steps are the most, I think, here the word climate is there.
Yeah.
And instead, I am taking it as a social behavior.
Yes. Yes.
Till the time society does not accept it,
Mm.
so then the change is going to be drastic. And especially in businesses, it's like in the form of business loss, brand deterioration, and all.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
See, yeah, everything like, national anthem in the cinema hall is a big discussion. Sensitization and standing for the national anthem, right? Somebody
yes.
says that I will not have the national anthem. Then I was actually in groups of discussions when I was trying to say, पुतिन का एक मैसेज आया था उन्हीं उसी दौरान कि if you want to be here, be like a Russian. If you don't want to, rule of the land, if you don't oblige the rule of the land, you leave the land. As simple as that. Don't dictate it just because I'm in number. So that I sometimes, what happens is, if you want that language, you better give that language.
Tit for tat.
No, that language is not necessary, but the point is, many of them, when you're dealing with masses to implement certain rules, you have become very flexible over ages, over, centuries. So, being too flexible, everybody is actually acting funny with you, with your borders, with your internally. So, geopolitical environment is also part of my international business. I deal basically international business.
Oh,
Quality.
really, ma'am? Then we'll be learning strategies of the businesses, especially those who are looking. I'm also aspiring for a boardroom and all.
Great,
I
great,
do not
great.
have any ground level experience, and it will be difficult for me to gain even.
Yeah, no, no. So, international business orientation wise, I keep dealing with certain things and strategic decision making, and why certain country is okay for us and why not. And when I talk about it, no, some people have really been very, very cautiously talk about it, and then their policies are such that they have not allowed anything open. So please do make sure that 10 steps, 10, 100 steps, some people have created the policy that some vague free riders cannot walk in at all.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? And we actually construct a beautiful thing and we don't think of a fencing. That is a problem with India.
महंगी गाड़ी ले लेंगे हेलमेट नहीं खरीदेंगे 150
Exactly.
का
Exactly. So the point here is we construct a beautiful thing. उनका security क्या है? उनका safety क्या है? Because the point is again in psychology, it's a projection. If you have never hit anyone wrongly and if you have never thought about breaking somebody's house or a scooter, you will never suspect that that will happen. Usually. वो जो चीज आपने किया नहीं उनका सस्पिशन आपको इतना ज्यादा नहीं आएगा अनलेस यू हैव ऑलरेडी फेस्ड इट सो दैट्स अ प्रॉब्लम विथ इंडिया इंडिया इज लर्निंग ओ सिक्योरिटी इज मोर important. Otherwise, even in the ancient days, why is it that we are not having huge pillars of इतना बड़ा temples आपने structure बना दिया. It's easy also for you to build much more bigger fences for the temple, but you never thought that people will walk in and smash your temples, because that was not part of it. Because it's a very pious and precious thing. Nobody will dare to do that, will not think of it. That is what your universal appeal. You think universe is thinking the way you think, which is not the case. So we have learned our lessons in a very harsh way. Even now we are learning.
Yes,
So this is
ma'am.
part of a change. This is also part of, whenever we talk about change and improvisation, are you also ready for the disasters? Change and disaster is supposed to think in terms as if twin brothers.
Yes, ma'am.
Sometimes out of disaster also we have to change a lot, like COVID.
Yes, ma'am. So there are
Change is
something positive to also come up.
exactly. So change is not only for always profit and bigger companies and decisions and so on and expansion. Change also is out of your disasters. Then you may have to change, scratch from scratch. Okay, right. So is
Right,
everybody
ma'am.
joined? Should we continue?
Only
Yes.
17, ma'am. I don't know whether the others are joining or not.
Okay.
It's long
Should we
time. Maybe
continue with what we have?
yes, ma'am. Let's
Yeah.
continue with our
Yes, ma'am, that's good.
topic.
So what do you talk about Bling H2O? Anyone? I just wanted you guys to uh, Google for Bling H2O. Is Bling H2O as a company is thinking of expansion to India? Is it necessary for it? And first of course, basic question is a water of water, mineral water. Does it have to be studded with Swarovski diamonds and all? I'm very, it's like a very stupid question to ask. Does it have? There is nothing called does it have to be, because if you want to be more into luxury category, even water can be a luxury category. That's what is the beauty of the market. If there is somebody there for $1 million, somebody can make their phone with studded with Swarovski diamonds like Nita Ambani, then they will do it, right? So it's all about how much you have, right? So similar cases, the Bling H2O, and I wanted to pair it with markets which are not ready. Bling is not thinking in terms of to enter at all, right? Yes, but if you see the highest luxuries, Bling is one of its category. There are even more higher category of luxury water bottle, just water bottle. So you will actually preserve that water bottle because it is studded with certain kind of rough diamonds, right? Bottle itself is costly, and water on top of it even more costly. So if you talk about change, innovation, implementation, improvisation, and branding, and super imposition of higher quality of standards, I think these are certain areas where we never thought about a water can have this standard of expenditure, right, in the last 25 years. But now this is where we are going further. Anyone who wants to share anything about, please do. Shivani?
Uh, yes, ma'am. Like you suggested, I actually did a lot of reading about the Hilfu and the Sagi. And also at the same time, the thing is, thanks to you. Now, whenever I enter any kind of supermarket, I turn the bottle, all the water bottle, and see. For example, right now, I got this. There is one bottle which I got, and I was like, okay, this is nice. So yeah, thanks to you because it really made me interested into it. Coming to my Bling and Stu, I was amazed to see how they placed themselves in the top lot in luxury because the person, the founder who is eventually a Hollywood writer, they thought that okay, water remains a basic commodity. Let's just make it something experiential for the people who are having it at the larger and the highest circle. So they already dissected the audience side already. They are not producing it for masses. They're
Yeah.
producing it for niche from the basic, from the starting only. And then they also decided that okay, there should be some designer products, and then that element of life should be there. That okay, if a celebrity is holding it, then as a commoner, maybe I will look at it from the ambition point of view rather than having it as a commodity of water. Water doesn't remain the product. Now the bottle has become the product or the status symbol, I feel so. And on the part whether they are looking forward to expand in India, I couldn't find any article which suggests specifically that they are. But yes, because of course, like you mentioned about Nita Ambani as well, and there are a lot of people who can maybe look forward to it. Maybe in the future we can see it, but I couldn't find any evidential proof around it. Also, ma'am, there one more thing, like in Dasani, the source of water became the problem.
Exactly.
So they, from the initial, they were very focused that it should be coming from the smoky mountains, and that should be the natural spring. And then there is 9-step filtration process, which they
Reverse
huge.
osmosis. Reverse osmosis as a technique.
Yeah. And then they also marketed it. It's not like that they are doing it and then they just wrote that, okay, 9-step process. They also marketed it. They also showed it in some of their campaigns. Of course, there are a lot of campaigns where the celebrity is holding the water, but they also have, mentioned it that, okay, this is the 9-step process and this is the purity level of our water. So that also gives a kind of authenticity to the product. Of course, it's a very different approach. They have skimmed the price market as well, but at the same time, they were very sure about the market, the pricing, the target market, and that has actually worked for them and also kept the cultural sensitivity when they're talking about it. So, ma'am, this is what I could understand about a Bling
Great.
H2O.
Great. Great. I'll just do 1 minute. So just now we talked about Dasani's takeaways. One is price, another one is reverse osmosis technique. So what is applicable in your country, not necessarily other countries ready to accept yours. So in the EU and the UK part, pure means it should be from the spring and the waterfalls, not from the tap water and being processed as a purified. Purified is different from pure water. So people got played by that word, and then that is where it has put them in trouble. Fine. Why the trouble? First of all, it is American brand which felt that I'm acceptable. I got my own branding as a Dasani all over the world. So I will now enter EU. But countries like UK and the EU's perspective is you cannot change myself. They're very, very clingy to their cultural specifications. And they're very, very, very particular about it. French and Spanish guys, they know better English than you, but they don't speak to you in English. Because they want to first speak in their French or Spanish only. Right? So similarly, there are some aspects of it. Please don't bring that pure means pure water. So we will not buy. So that backlash has never thought about because Coca-Cola is a bigger company, whether you accept it or you don't accept it. Coca-Cola is Coca-Cola. So Coca-Cola having that backlash, taking on the similar day, same day, it had to take the stocks back from the UK stores is not a joke. It's a very, very slap on the face of a big brand called Coca-Cola, and the Sunny is not being accepted is not a joke. And that too, on top of it, headlines with Dasani is a tap water being called as a pure is a brand killing. It's a very goodwill killing. And they had to come up with the spokesperson and then talk about it. So these are certain kind of lessons that we also learn. Like Boeing is a bigger lesson. We'll also discuss about it. And then Dasani is a bigger lesson where however giant you are, however you think that you're indispensable in the market, your market readiness into other region or other kind of group or other geographical country place always puts you in trouble because you have forgot about certain cultural nuances or technological nuances, and that has put you into a different map altogether. Lessons are being learned whether he is a mega company or a giant company or a small company, right? For small company almost it may shut down. For a mega company like that, they will stop the Dasani as a variant, that's all. There's a blow on their face also, but the point is Coca-Cola does not even think about it anything as a big thing because okay, I tried, I didn't get it. That's all. Because I will concentrate in other regions where I'm making profits. But if it is a small company which has gone with this into that country only and it had to sustain on what happens in that country, then that's a story of close down. right? This is what happens with the bigger mistakes, even though if you think that it's an innovation and that it doesn't work for you, right? So these are lessons. Next, I wanted to showcase is cafe coffee day.
Yeah. Ma'am, can I add one more, which
Please,
I
please,
found very
please,
funny? Ma'am, I
please.
found when I was doing the research as you suggest. So there is this BBC British.com this citation. This sitcom is there, Only Fools and Horses sitcom,
Yes,
and
yes.
there was this episode where exactly the protagonist was doing the same thing, and a lot of people have watched it. And then later on, when Coca-Cola did that okay, they are repackaging the tap water as spring water or the packaged water. So everyone thought that it's a scandal. They have taken the idea from there and then they have done it in UK. So I think so that was also one of the culture-led proposition which happened because people were like, okay, they are doing a scandal, they are just giving us, and then there is this contamination of bromate above the
Bromide.
legal
Yes.
thing as well. So all of these things gone wrong, and then they had to return back 5 lakh bottles from the store at that immediate moment. So it's a major supply chain issue as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you so
So
much,
how
ma'am. It really was like nice thing for me to read. I really loved it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So whenever I'm trying to talk about a change, theoretically the theories also, or somebody said this and all, we all will learn it from the textbooks or somewhere. Abhi to pura plethora of information is there. You have got multiple gadgets and the whole world is giving you information, whether you want it or not. But the point is tacit knowledge. The tacit knowledge is what is it you do with that? Why we should know these things and what are the other world scenarios which are happening is only with the person who's got an exposure and experience. Otherwise you don't need me. That's what I say in the class also. You don't need me. To the youngest Gen Z's and the Alpha Zens, I don't think that they need us. What they need is what you should not do, what you can do, and how do you integrate the information with this, and how do you make it into a decision. That's what I feel. Yes. Yeah. So the cafe coffee day thing is a very interesting story, right? Why I say interesting? Of course, it's a very sad story, but the rise and the fall and the again coming back is not a joke, right? And we never thought that cafe coffee day was going through that kind of crisis until unless we've seen his suicide impact. But now, the lady is actually able to manage it and coming back, and these are the stories that we're getting to. What changes you think that you would appreciate the Cafe Coffee Day should do to the new uh, facelift of the business, or it should continue with the Cafe Coffee Day as it is, and whatever business model it has? Any one of you? Do you suggest any change? Change in the sense, change doesn't have to be complete change. Change can be even improvisation. What is improvisation? From the regular right now process to anything else you want as an improvisation, that also will attract people. That also will actually smoothen your operations or elevate your operations. So, any one or two? Is Cafe Coffee Day right now going on well, or are you suggesting to go and there in the environment? Because one thing that we have to say is in last 15 years, Cafe Coffee Day has given a different kind of platform to the youngsters or even to the business people, even to the working class people, to hang on to certain place and sit down and see to it that there's a good place, and that is cost effective. It's not like your baristas and your what do you call other big coffee houses. Hmm? So, what do you say? Coffee day is going well, or do you think that you have any suggestions to it? Any one or two, if it is a discussion. Are you preferring to go to coffee day?
Ma'am, if I be very honest with you, I'll any day go to a blue tokai over a cafe coffee day. As an individual person, I think so, ma'am. I had my very first coffee at cafe coffee day, and I didn't know what is coffee until unless I went to a CCD and had it. And that was the kind of experience which it gave me when back in I think so 2011 or 12. But when later on what happened, a service became very bad and very pathetic as a person to me. Like to get
Exactly.
one coffee, I have to wait for like 30 minutes. And when you're going there for work, you will not be able to do it. And now we have tasted the flavor of QSRs, quick service restaurants. So we want that every other time. Another thing is, ma'am, the environment is not the kind of environment I'll prefer for maybe a work day. That is more of like I'll sit, I'll hang out with my friends. But now because we are working remotely, we are working from various locations, I look forward to a place where I can sit, I can take my meetings, I can just have coffee, and then I can be there for as long as it matters, and I can also have some of my one-on-one meetings as well. So that cafe coffee day that doesn't provides me as of now. But ma'am, I think so certainly they've shifted their pathway towards the B2B kind of thing rather than B2C. So they have
B2C
closed a lot of these restaurants
outlets.
and cafes and
Yeah,
outlets, and
yeah,
they've focused more on making that OG machine which they have.
yeah,
So
yeah.
everywhere I go, I see a cafe coffee day machine, and that actually gives me a lot of solace as well. And okay, coffee must be good because it's coming from cafe coffee day. So I think so that has really worked out for them, and I think
Exactly.
so. I think so. Further, what they can do it, ma'am. I think so with organizations like Blue Tokai and
Mm.
other I think so in Delhi, I have seen a rise of lot of outlet from First Copy in last 6 months, ma'am. What they have done is they just provide you a very good space. You can just be there, and then there are different kinds of Indianized coffee as well, ma'am. Like you won't believe I just once saw this cinnamon coffee, and I was like, what cinnamon coffee? And to me, it is certainly very new. I think so. They can also go ahead with that kind of thing. They did it with tea. They actually went on and did the collaboration with some of the vendors out there. They got a lot of tea bags of different flavors. But I think so with coffee also they can experiment more upon it and ground it for us, and then maybe that can also be one of the line. They are doing it a little bit, I think so they can focus more upon if they want to capture the B2C market. Otherwise, B2B is going well for them now because it has also reduced their operations cost a lot.
Exactly. Operation cost reduced, and still their brand is visible in the world, in the
Yes,
country.
yes, absolutely,
Right.
ma'am.
That's a
Wherever
good
you
thing.
go, you have a CCD machine for sure.
I know, I know. So now, even now, CCD is becoming rather has sustained as first option before you go for a Starbucks kind of option or a barista kind of option, which is a costlier option, and which is go-to kind of option is coffee day. Yes, right. Thank you. That's a good discussion. Anyone can also. One more thing, I just wanted to see to that. What is it? I did open the Boeing's discussions. Hold on.
Watching tonight have probably flown.
I'm going to copy this thing into the thing so that you'll also able to see it later on, because that's a bigger discussion I wanted to do in a part of learning. You also would see to it that great companies, big companies also would do mistakes, and those mistakes are costly mistakes. And
अगर आपका बिजनेस हर दिन आप पर डिपेंड करता है तो आपने अपने लिए बिजनेस नहीं बनाया, अपने लिए एक सेल्फ ट्रैप क्रिएट कर रहा है. मैं बोल रहा हूं, अगर बिजनेस आपके बिना नहीं चल पा रहा है तो आपका बिजनेस जो most of you watching tonight have probably flown on an airplane made by the Boeing
right.
company. That's why you may have been more than a little rattled when a panel blew off the side of one of its airplanes in January, leaving a gaping hole and a lot of questions for the renowned American company. Since then, 4 federal investigations have been launched, and Boeing hired a new CEO to, quote, restore trust. But that hasn't stopped a steady stream of Boeing whistleblowers from coming forward. The FAA says over the last year, it's received more than 200 reports from whistleblowers. Their safety concerns include mismanagement of parts, poor manufacturing, and sloppy inspections at Boeing. You're about to hear from some of those whistleblowers. They told us why they weren't surprised when a Boeing airplane flew open in the Oregon sky. The story will continue in a moment. This was the view from the cabin thousands of feet above Portland. For 14 terrifying minutes, nothing stood between the 177 people on the Alaska Airlines flight and the cold evening sky.
We need to return back to, we have 177 passengers.
The distress call came shortly after takeoff when a panel over an exit that's only open for maintenance, called a door plug, blew off 3 miles above the ground.
Emergency aircraft from now leveling 12,000.
The plane, a Boeing 737-9 MAX, just a few months old, landed safely, and remarkably, no one was seriously injured. A month later, the National Transportation Safety Board's investigation revealed 4 bolts required to secure the MAX's door plug were removed during production at Boeing's factory in Renton, Washington, and never reinstalled. Boeing says it can't find any paperwork to explain how a plane left the factory broken. Sam Mohawk works at that Renton factory. This is his first television interview.
So, in January, when you heard about the lost door plug incident, what was your reaction?
I was not surprised. I was almost expecting something to happen. I was actually happy that it wasn't a catastrophic event that took down an airplane. That kind of put visibility, what was going on internally, out to the public.
Mohawk has worked for Boeing for 13 years, 3% of the world's commercial jet fleet.
The idea is to keep those airplanes moving, keep that line moving at all costs.
At all costs, even safety?
Unfortunately, yes. Yeah.
Mohawk says he started noticing problems during COVID when Boeing was ramping up production and dealing with supply chain issues. Part of his job as a quality investigator is keeping track of defective airplane parts in what employees call, quote, the parts jail.
Why parts jail?
Because they're supposed to be under lock and key, and it's supposed to be like a chain of evidence. We're following that whole part to make sure that that is not a bad part going back to the airplane.
But Mohawk says in an effort to keep production moving, some Boeing employees sidestepped protocol and took bad parts out of the parts jail when his team wasn't looking.
Where do you think the parts are going?
There's so much chaos in that factory that there's
This part is very important for us. When they said that the certain parts are not supposed to be kept out and they're bad parts, some people have stepped out of the protocol and opened that particular shop or the space and started bringing those bad parts out. Now, that particular door is one single thing. What I'm trying to say is, see, however big your company is, however inspections, your poor inspections, poor facilitating, it's not relationship based because it is customer driven to be. And then if you think that the inspector who's coming is known to you and the one who's actually showing is known to you, you both will have a very beautiful, call and then have a good coffee and sign on the inspection and come back. It's good for both of you. It's good for both of you, but it's not good for the organization. And who will have that kind of overseeing of this kind of situations? And that is where, in many occasions, improvisation, then the quality and the change, all of them are together, they're hand in hand. Whenever I say a quality, the change, even in the quality standard, a change, are you ready for it? Because it may need 3 to 4 inspections. It may need a very serious objection even if the person is sitting next to you or the one who is supposed to get a memo from you is your brother. It's okay. But the point is the product cannot go out. Period. There is no other issue. The product which is not gone through that kind of a list of committed sources, list of committed processes, list of certain stages of actions, if it is missing even a small millimeter of it, the product should not go out. Because it is not you and the other person having a friendship and you wanted to sign for him. It is where your brand image lacks, and it is again customer is going to suffer if you want to. And this is where value based kind of discussion. Are you giving value for the money? Because someone who is actually going through that, it's a fatal, sometimes your product can be a fatal disaster for them. Sometimes your product can be a very time bound because they have to come back and they have to wait for something else. They have to replace it. All these are disturbances and you are not doing your job. You can say that I did it and somebody else has signed it. These are all excuse sentences. So when we really look at from the helicopter view, The whole person, the whole system, everybody who's directly, indirectly involved or not involved. Sometimes even your presence, you're also part of it. Reason, you would have raised your hand concern. You would have raised something that it should not go, it cannot go. At least you would have said something to somebody as a whistleblower, which you didn't do. Then you are not ready for change. When you are not ready for implementation of the improvisation, forget about change. Then ultimately your organization can never think of innovation. You cannot think of innovation because you're not able to handle the basic change processes in the stages wise. Change comes in stages and you are not able to handle it, and you are actually going out of protocol and doing it. So Boeing is a very, multiple cases and multiple videos of Boeing is interesting. It's not that we are just catching hold of a bigger company. It's even more interesting because however big you are, if you break the protocols, if you compromise at certain things, what happens to your product and the brand image is the history that you are seeing. I've never seen Boeing's such kind of disaster the way that we have seen recent Air India flight, right? So these are the results of how poor management and poor thing is happening. After some point, what happens is when you become the monopoly in the industry, you become bit of headstrong and saying that whatever comes out of mine is good and people are there to wait. That's what has happened with the ambassador. People were waiting in line for 6 months after booking and after paying the money. Maruti came and the whole scenario has changed. So any company or any individual, any technical person or anyone who thinks that I'm at the height of the helm of the affairs, fine, we appreciate it, we respect it. But the point is that is not the end of the story. What are you trying to bring to the table with the process of a change, improvisation, checkpoints, and the total respect for the entire process? Respect for the value of the money, value for money. If you are not inculcating into the system, there is no change at all. You can even oppose or discuss. I say this and I really go for, because for me it's a very unique combination of a basket that I'm talking about. I'm an international business person and I worked with international people, Japanese basically, and Koreans, and some of the when Australia also. I could see relaxation of their thought process whenever, whichever country I go. Vietnam, very strict in the quality and they want to do it. Very like hardcore people. They're trying to. In coming days, Vietnam will beat out India in many ways. We don't even consider Vietnam as a competition now. We're thinking China. Indirectly, you do have a Vietnam. Because it's doing fabulous job, and I saw the smart city preparation of Vietnam is far better than India. Because that's how the dedication is. Right? So when we talk about change, are we ready for it? Are we really sticking to the code of conduct with the protocol of it? That is what as an organization we should think. The policies, process code, and you have the flow chart which is coming to you, diagrams coming to you, that you cannot say no. A design has to be like this, you will do it. But how do you do it? What kind of protocols that you are missing? What are that you are trying to do at the end of the day as a gullible? That's what makes you a very different person. That's what makes you a strong company or a brand. And that is what the difference between the same credentials, the same kind of design is being given to a country and another company, then they're making a difference of it, and that's what makes the process orientation. In the process, you have people who are actually sticking to the process. I keep saying, see, why my homework is always, I would like to have that kind of moment of everything that what I'm visiting, right? If we are discussing these discussions of examples, that's making you also be part of the homework. Although it is an online, I'm making it as if it's an offline kind of thing. I'm saying that please do read it and come back, we will discuss. The discussion point is always making that as a live. That is what tacit knowledge is all about. That is what very person specific. The same syllabus, the same thing will be given to everybody. But what do you do is what is your unique branding. Agree or not? Right? A refrigerator everybody is making. But what do you do with the same refrigerator design? Right? Water heater is everybody is making. What do you do? So that what do you do? Specific smile, a slight change is your change management, is your change philosophy, is your change statement. And that is applicable to brand, country, company, as well as individual. All the 4 levels. Agree or not? If that gets into your DNA, You are the hotcake in the market. Always would like to work with you because you love that. Once it gets into DNA, you love everything. Whatever you do, you bring that change into it. Because let's say that if you go to a classroom or if you go to an office room, most of the Indian office rooms or Indian systems today, even today, they don't have that signals or the symbols on the switches. Let us say that you're into a big hall, 30 fans are there, and you want to stop the first fan in the second row. How do you stop it? You will obviously will switch on all the switches and try for it. This is the most irritating thing. I said that why not we go for an improvisation? Right? What was the improvisation? I said that give a signal. Every particular fan switches will have a symbol of it. Left side, right side, angles. Right? Then you will search those angles in the, when you buy those switches, you will search those angles and you will try to put on the switchboard of that angles only. Fine, people will only do right angle wala second row mein. Chalo, wahi dabayenge. Nahi to you will start pressing all the 20 switches, it's a noisy. Why? Of course, we can bear with 5 minutes. What if you are into an examination? What if you are into a serious discussion? That explains a lot that you are not thinking of a minute level of management, of accuracy. Right? Minute level of giving that kind of benefit to what if this is what is needed. That is what design thinking is all about. Empathy for the customer. Otherwise, there is no change. You always can say, "Ye mera paas yahi hai, aap yahi kharido." You always can say. That is a monopolistic system that says, "I have this, you better buy it." Oil in today's world is fossil fuel is nothing but a monopolistic. It's a seller's market. He comes, he tells you, you come with your vessel, with your barrels ready, and I will give you oil. That too, advance payment you wait for at the bay and you will get it. So this is a seller's market. When do you want to move out of the seller specific instruction manual and you want to become a customer oriented? That's what makes us very strong statement for your company. Please do tell me if I'm saying it rightly or not. Right? Even as an individual, that's what makes our branding proposition. Every one of us are a brand for ourselves. Every one of us are branding ourselves. Wherever you go, you are branding yourself. This is how you want to work. Whether you like it or not, everybody is observing. The whole world is like a CC camera. The minute you spend money, the minute you take a note, right? Wherever I go, I'll have my notes. Say that, okay, fine. Some people say that, ma'am, you're at this level, you still know taking note. No. I'll not go by that. I may be hearing, but the point is, I want to make a note. Sometimes I'll make even a flow chart of it because there's no harm in taking a note of it because that explains a lot about your preparation of it. That I want to take everything. So everything that we are doing as an individuals is a branding. Right? This is how you are actually explaining to the world that this is what my style of functioning. So is the case with the branding, whether it is a Coca-Cola or a Pepsi or a other fans and all, right? So some examples, whenever I walk into what do you call? A store, I keep asking them. Some brands are not coming. Now, I was just there in one brand, one electrical shop to buy something. Then I said that it's all Havel. It's all Havel now. Fine. What happened to your Crompton Greaves? What happened to your Orients? What happened to your Usha fans? Because they were not bad in quality. The only thing is they didn't their facelift. After 25 years, you have to do a bit of another facelift for your thing. The design wise, whatever it is. Why Usha is not designing? I would like to talk to some people, right? So what is it? As a person who is always thinking in terms of improvisation and change, even if you go to a Reliance Mart, you will think of it, why are you wasting so much of resources? I was talking to a store karta or the store manager. So much of vegetables and all, they're all getting smelled. Why are you keeping them like that? Why don't you put it into a cold storage or a refrigerator or any other place? But you still want to have the farmer's connection and bring them, and they're all getting, sad rahe ho sabke sab, right? Why are you actually making this kind of thing? When you question, you're actually questioning, but you're also learning a lot in the entire process because you start observing where is the wastage. Where is the wastage happening? Where is this particular branding proposition is going wrong? You cannot be, you don't have to be everything in every way. Don't go for it. All brands doing mistake of it. I was asking a prestige distributor who's having a mixie. I said, why are you there in the grinding business? Be happy with your prestige cookers, no? I'm not against you diversifying. I'm saying that your mixer power doesn't go by the Sumit or the Preeti kind of thing or other kind of Ken stars. Why do you want to be there in everywhere? Your assembly line becomes choking. Why do you want to keep your working capital fixed like that? Be happy with what established brands and establish yourself. Fine tune your cookers. This is what I spoke, and I said that please do send this as a feedback to your factory. I don't have to talk, but I'm talking because I know your problems. Because that mixer, I'm seeing it last 1 year, nobody is buying it. I told him, nobody is buying. Even though you have declared the Diwali ka jo, what do you call, discounts, it explains a lot that nobody is looking at you as a mixer manufacturer, grinder manufacturer. Everybody is looking at you as a cooker manufacturer. Right? So why do you want to diversify where you don't have to? Be there where you are supposed to and sophisticate yourself in whatever you have. That is improvisation, change, and innovation. Bring us great cookers which is much more healthier, sustainable. Copper bottom or copper is whatever it is. Think of it, innovate. I said, ma'am, what do you do? He said that I do change management innovation. The first and the last question that I get from a store karta is, ma'am, what do you do? So how do we, are you a consultant? I said that yes, I'm a consultant. So what I'm trying to say is, there is so much that most of the companies do decide that they want to be everywhere with everything, right? So even as an individual, let us focus on branding ourselves and see to it that this is what my focus. After some point, you have to consolidate yourself. In the beginning of your 20s and 30s, you will be everywhere because you want to get all skills. After some point, consolidate the skills and try to be only like this. From their improvisation, I'm trying to take the leverage of it because you're also very, what do you call, participative audience. Otherwise, I would have got stuck to only my slide, right? Wait. So this one, we'll just have this and then we'll try to see what we can discuss about, right? Today I will thank Durga ma'am for just quickly guiding me towards the top line, ma'am. Just go to that and from the beginning. That's a very interesting instruction. You know something, change and improvisation innovation also needs a very precise instructions instead of wasting the time, right? And that's where I appreciate. Thank you. It's a very good cohort. I always enjoy every group that I interact. Fine. So these are John P. Cotter's 8 steps of the model. First thing is create kind of that situation where change is important. That is where your first dialogue as an internal body meetings, that instead of actually panicking them or instead of telling them this is what is going to come, you all have to do it. No, this is our situation, and A and B, management as well as the employees, both of them are together. I keep saying even there in the training modules, say that we all become together only as a team. A, I am talking, B, you're listening. Unless both of us come together, these training programs will not be having results. I cannot say that I just finish my talking and go. No. Similarly, create a climate of change where the change is important for all of us, not the only one who is actually holding the flag of a change, say that I bring the change. No, you are not bringing the change. Unless somebody receives that change as a change, change doesn't happen, right? You're taking your child to a salon saying that today is Sunday, I want you to go for a haircut. Your child is not listening to that haircut, change doesn't happen. As simple as that. How do you convince your child? How do you convince your child? That is important. So that is where it's like most of the employees are also sometimes children, because they've got comfort zones. They've got their own concerns. I'm very good in this particular software right now. I'm very good with this particular technology right now. I've been trained, and I've already got rewards. Now you are putting me into a new thing. Now I'll be nobody there. Very understandable concern. So that is where resistance comes. So understanding, making them understand this is important for you, this is also important for me. So please, sometimes we have to tell them, madam, the award that you have got last year, that particular software is going to die within 2 years. Once the software die, your career also will go into a slump. Do you want that? No. So stretch yourself, learn the new software. That's the only way. Your what is your DP means? आपका नाम क्या है, sir? Please unmute yourself. We are not able to.
Dhanindra, ma'am.
Huh?
Dhanindra.
Dhanendra. So Dhanendra, what are you laughing at?
Ma'am, wonderful examples. It's like something listening poetry. Actually, ma'am, one of the INI professor I was attending the lecture, and everybody was extremely bored of. And the subject was RM, research methodology. The name itself is very boring itself.
I know. Tricky.
So सारे मतलब although all were very senior in position and all, but they were not able to speak up. And I suggested the little bit about our this one work model and all engaging our. So now he is totally changed 180 degree. बोले आपने बहुत अच्छा बताया मुझे एंड नाउ माय क्लासेस आर चेंजिंग मतलब इमीडिएटली उन्होंने बहुत अच्छा चेंज देखा तो आर्ट इज इम्पोर्टेंट व्हाइल वी आर डूइंग दिस ट्रेनिंग एंड ऑल एंड जैसे कि आपने व्हाट ये वी हैव स्टार्टेड विद क्रिएट अर्जेंसी then
Yes.
again the challenge is that I was also dealing with some of the professors with think tanks.
Yeah.
So what is the problem? The biggest problem is the first step.
Yeah.
Like what you have mentioned, the no very great example of convincing the child for haircut. So nobody can tell that I cannot understand this example.
I
But the
know.
challenge is that do you have that art in you to convince?
Exactly.
So, ma'am, what I see from this thing in an organization, whether this step should be initiated at the top level or at the last man who is working in the organization in the field. So both the side, it is, I think, I am in diplomacy or I can say in dilemma.
No, actually, this again go by national culture. India still have the feudalistic culture where anything comes from the top, even the peon will listen immediately. वो बॉस से आया है,
Okay, okay. बड़े
right?
साहब ने
So,
बोला है.
yeah, बड़े साहब ने बोला है. So जो बड़े साहब ने बोला है, definitely you will listen to. So this top-down approach is still working. At the same time, the one who is actually giving the ideas, so you the community was as a complete community or a kind of ecosystem, so slowly you would have to see to it that every head at different levels also acting as a change agent, and they will try to make sure that this particularly familiarizing with this new idea or a new change, we have to familiarize. Why advertisements do work? Before going out of any shopping, last 1 week you are seeing one advertisement. जब भी एडवर्टाइजमेंट आ रहा था आप उनको चेंज कर रहे थे, बट स्टिल इट हैज गॉन इन टू योर थिंग, पिक्चर वाइज, वर्ड वाइज. अभी आप शॉपिंग के लिए गए थे, out of which what you wanted, you don't get that, but the first second choice that you would take what you have seen last 1 week. Unknowingly you have actually captured the information about that advertisement because you are already got into a familiarity with that brand, that job done. They would say अच्छा ये नहीं है तो फिर वो दे दो सर, ये नया है मार्केट में, हाँ मुझे मालूम है, मैंने देखा एडवर्टाइजमेंट. आप लोगे उसको because the familiarity is already being created in your brain. Whether you like it or you don't like it, you are watching it because आपको कुछ तो नाता बन गया because you heard about it. Heard itself is a familiarity. So that is where the every layer of a people. Am I making sense, sir? So every layer of a person who is trying to talk, who's trying to make their employees get ready and get into those shoes of a change. This is what we are supposed to. That माहौल बनना चाहिए, that environment create करना चाहिए. That is where creating the urgency, talking about it, new discussion about that particular new technology, new thing. What are we going to do? How are we going to beat our competitors, and what is necessary? If we don't do that, we will be losing the entire competition, and somebody will take over the entire market within 1 year. All these are discussions that group head or a decent that regional level or any of them are supposed to imbibe this discussion. That is an art of it. That is where employees will get familiarized, right? I think now I'll give you an example of, I think if any one of you are there, you would also urge for it. When Satyam fall down has happened, Mahindra getting into the picture and taking over Satyam is a very interesting story for me. I observe everything, I make a note of it, right? Because till then, unless some other kind of people, those who are in the business with Mahindra, they don't know that Mahindra is also have diversified itself into software. Till then, Mahindra is only known as a OEM, that is original equipment manufacturer of the trucks or the automobile. We were not having as a country as a solid information सबके पास नहीं है that Mahindra can also rescue Satyam into software and become Satyam Mahindra software. Wow, that a great thing. That means before this particular incident happened, back then 9 to 10 years itself, Mahindra has diversified. It's already starting having its own vertical in software. Interesting. Am I giving the right example? Right? That means somebody has already convinced themselves that I can be in this area also. Same thing with ITC. Indian Tobacco Company into Mangal Deep and that classic books and then other areas. You never thought that the biscuits and sunrise biscuits and all. I don't think that a tobacco company can actually facelift itself. Today, ITC is not looked at as a tobacco company. Most of them they don't even know the total abbreviation of ITC. ITC is nothing but from British Tobacco Company. It has become ITC, Indian Tobacco Company. It's a proper, cigarette manufacturing and tobacco dealing company. But today, when you say it's a very household company, and that is a shift somebody has done with the company and with its branding, with its lines of verticals. That's a fantastic way of vision, strategy, implementing, getting into the market and getting accepted by the customers. Right? Children also buying your books. Today, okay, ITC ka book hai, fine. ITC has got paper mills also. So when I see, similarly, am I giving the right example that's going well with you? Discussion?
Wonderful, ma'am. Wonderful. One of the example, can I, ma'am?
Yeah, please, please. I want more discussion. Yeah.
It was there in Thailand. I also listened, although I don't. I have never been to.
Mm.
The Nescafe was trying to introduce itself in the Thailand,
Mm.
but there was no acceptance in beverages, and
Mm.
finally he got entry into this one cosmetics.
Mm.
So it's well doing with the cosmetics, and could not break through in this one beverages market.
Yeah.
People did not accepted it, but
Yeah.
finally they got entry into this one cosmetics.
Yeah.
So
Sometimes it
that's
happens. Say, yeah,
strategy.
yeah,
That's what it is, the strategy.
yeah, yeah.
Ma'am,
So getting in,
one more example.
yeah,
Can I give
please.
one more example? Ma'am,
Yeah.
I recently got amazed by that Yamaha, the music instrument thing, and Yamaha, the bike, they're same. Like
Yeah.
they originated at same. Later on, they became two different entity, but they originated at same, and it really amazed me. That is like
Yeah.
one of the better examples, I think, so,
Yeah.
of diversification.
Yes. Yes. Some companies have got diversification from everything to everything they are into and beautiful, right? Let's say that similarly, ITC did that, and all of us do know and use certain kind of ITCS brands now in today's day. But similarly, exclusively tobacco manufacturing company, something called VST in Hyderabad, Wazir Sultan Tobacco Company. It's only known for people those who are into tobacco, like your BDs or cigarettes and so on. It never thought about making it into a kind of other consumer goods. It always stood by only that tobacco as a tobacco. So until unless I tell you, just because I'm there from Hyderabad, I would like to tell you this is also possible. So when I really peg against each other, like ITC and Wazir Sultan Tobacco, everybody will look at VST as only tobacco because it never put its efforts into moving out of that kind of tobacco background. But ITC has done. Now ITC products you are comfortable. You're comfortable and you're accepting ITC as a brand with ITC has got your what do you call wear, fashion wear. ITC has got your matchboxes, your others, whatnot. For fine, that's even if it's in the way it is having great success in the FMCG is fantastic. But why do you look at it portfolio of a VST? It has stuck with only tobacco as a manufacturing. This explains. Similar thing that I've seen is Mahindra is one thing. Mahindra absolutely appreciable. The way it has actually rescued Satyam. Till then, some of the companies and Indian market also doesn't know that Mahindra is already stepped into software as an industry, right? So these are vision of the people and the way they want to change and diversify is boardroom decisions. But are you ready for a crisis to take over? Satyam is not a joke to take over. It has come with a lot of baggage. And Mahindra could take over. That means look at the readiness. It is change and disaster. Did I not tell you? Sometimes change also happens through the disasters. Somebody's disaster has become your diversification as well as change for you and a portfolio for you to take over. But are you ready as a company to take over that biggest change? Explains a lot about leadership, financial discipline, strength, and your internal discipline, organizing capacity. How many of you agree with this? Right. Yeah. Let me see what are the chats. So many people have written something. Uh, Vikas Raiji, Cadbury introduced Chico Gulla in traditional Rasgulla in Kolkata to change the traditional sweet eating habit to Cadbury chocolates. Is it good? Are you buying it? Give us the feedback also.
Earlier, ma'am, it was, matlab they started, but
Hmm.
people did not like it. It
Right.
has been stopped.
Yeah.
I,
So
I
that
liked
means,
it, ma'am.
huh?
I tried it once and I really liked it. But am I continuing to buy it? No, no, no. That is not a thing. But
See,
I
the
liked it.
point is early. Ideally now I try to see the capitalistic view. I'm good at discussing change and innovation, but when I'm coming to business orientation, I don't suggest and really appreciate the capitalistic view, capitalist market orientation. See, when I'm there in London, I have to buy the 5 liters or 3 liters milk only. क्यों भाई मुझे नहीं चाहिए. I'm there as a researcher. I want only a half liter or a 1 liter can. I can go to India, even in Delhi or Hyderabad. I can go to a milk fellow say that मुझे भैया आप मुझे हर रोज आधा लीटर दे दो मुझे मिल जाएगा. Why a capitalist country is making me to buy a 3 liter whether I like it or I don't like it. Even with the same case with the surf. So branding, packaging of going for 3 kgs, 5 kgs a bigger thing. Toothpaste is also not available with a small thing is all about making you buy a bigger one. This is a very different story altogether. Now, what I'm trying to say is Cadbury's कुछ शुभ हो जाए कुछ शुभ आरंभ हो जाए स्वीट्स के बजाय क्या बोलते हैं चॉकलेट्स जो लड्डू का बिजनेस था राइट कुछ शुभ है तो लड्डू होना चाहिए वो लड्डू इज रिप्लेस विद कैडबरीज नाउ all the students will only get not the sweets they'll only buy 100 packets of Cadbury's and say that why
Ma'am,
only Cadbury's has to be there as a shubharam. Why not laddu has to be? It can be both. See, this is where culture adjustment and culture replacement for the advertisement, and youngsters are the best window of opportunity to implement the change through them. Right? I'll stop. Tell sir, please go ahead.
Ma'am, here in the development sector plays a role, what you have mentioned, and then we need to also work on the poverty alleviations and what it is home business security and all those who are doing the local businesses.
Yeah.
So, on the other side, the government has provisioned CSR and all, so that they should spend their money towards the development of the society.
Yeah.
So it's making a round
Yes.
altogether. If we see Cadbury itself is a doing, and it's a wonderful examination.
Yes.
But the one side, it is eating up the livelihood of the those who are doing at local level. On the
Yeah.
other side, the same company is branding itself in the name of social development. We are doing CSR activities. We are contributing to the. So herein, what do you say? What the regulation should do? How the governance should? Actually, I am digressing, but though we are
No,
a
no.
trainers,
You're
I'll
you're
say.
putting me into very good interesting discussion. I don't
Though,
know
though we
if
are
you're
the
having
trainers
this
and we
level
are
of a
concerned with
discussion.
each and everything, and Shivani ma'am is laughing because she's also with UN and all. So
Yeah.
it also again comes with her also.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
everybody is connected. I'm not telling the development is a very big area.
Yeah, sir. Yes, sir. See, the point here is I'll tell you, you're bringing me to a great discussion. I don't know whether you are discussing this much of level in every session, but I love to keep everything as a discussion because that's what learning. I'm with adults and we are all learned people. See, what I
Yes.
say is here, I question the Indian policymakers as well as the customers also to look at it. Colgate Palmolive, 35 years back, if you go back to the vintage ads, old ads, has come with an ad. Oh, India, you have got poor habits of dental management. यू आपके आप तो टूथपेस्ट यूज नहीं करते हो, सॉल्ट यूज करते हो, विच इज इम्पोवरिश्ड कल्चर. आप टूथपेस्ट यूज नहीं करते हो, चारकोल यूज करते हो अपने दंत धावन के लिए, पाउडर यूज करते हो विच इज बैड फॉर योर टीथ. दिस वॉज द रिप्लेसमेंट ऑफ आपका जो वज्र मंजरी, दंत मंजरी ऑफ योर ओरिजिनल थिंग ऑफ योर आयुर्वेद एंड योर salt based kind of tooth powders. Fine, people have converted them to toothpaste. अब क्या बोलते हो? Again the same Colgate Palmolive
Again,
comes back and say that आपके टूथपेस्ट में सॉल्ट है, नहीं है,
toothpaste
go
in
for it.
salt inside, charcoal.
Inside. Now, if somebody has actually lived through your advertisements 25 years back and wants to come back and show you, what did you do to your Indian customers? First of all, you made them get out of their regular, basic, sustainable habit of दंत मंजरी एंड अदर एस्पेक्ट्स ऑफ नीम के जो करते थे. ये सब वेरी वेरी हेल्दी हैबिट्स थे. इतना डेंटल प्रॉब्लम इंडिया को नहीं था पहले, right? So you made them be out of it and depend only on your toothpaste. Now you are asking them, आपके टूथपेस्ट में सॉल्ट है, आपके टूथपेस्ट में चारकोल है, नहीं हो तो फिर हमारा खरीदो. What is this? This is mismanaging. This is where capitalistic view is. Yes, Shivani बताइए.
Ma'am, another example. I think so 4 days back only I was questioning this. So I saw an advertisement of Himalaya baby hair. Now, if I remember, because I come from a rural place, so my mom used to put ghee and sarson ka tel on me when I was very small, when winter is here. Now, in between, what happened? The entire industry, the beauty industry, was all about घी चिपचिपा होता है, घी नहीं लगाना चाहिए, घी लगाने से आपके पोर ब्लॉक हो जाते हैं, and XYZ thing. Now, 4 days back, I was seeing on a metro station, it is put like, okay, for your baby, ghee is the best thing. We are putting ghee inside the baby lotion, and that's why it should work. And I was like, why? We were doing it already. Then 20 years, or I'm 28 right now, so maybe 20 years you've spent telling us that, okay, pores will be clogged, everything will be bad. Now you're again putting and telling us, okay, ghee is nice for you. You can use it, but with the lotion we are creating. Ghee itself is nice only. We can use it directly. If we are getting the pure ghee, that is one of the problems.
Yeah. Shivani, I've left my number. I would like to discuss more on CSR orientations and then how does it help, right? So that's great. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. So this particular unit 2 has got Adgar and the John P. Cotter's 8 stages of preparation. And then you also have McKinsey's 7 principles. So that is what I wanted to talk. And then apart from more than theory, I think we are getting mentally ready how and interestingly, very cautiously, technically, logically, visibly, a change management is supposed to be implemented, rather being discussed in part of your organizations. And whoever is doing it, make sure that you're also having a flow chart of what is happening, why is it happening, why it is not happening, and at every initiation, every initiative that your company is doing, how is it doing? Is it doing it hodgepodge? Is it doing just because externally somebody is doing it, it wanted to survive, or it is your internal philosophy itself that you want to excel? You want to excel with yourself, right? Like your Apple says that this is my version and I'm going to beat my own version in the coming 1 year or 2 years. So it's not waiting for somebody else to bring a new version. So right now you don't have an Apple competitor to break Apple's cycle of innovations, which is interesting. And it is sustaining for the past 10 years like that. And I keep that as very interesting. And it's not easy when your founder is not there, right? When your founder is not there, Steve is not there with the company. Usually the founder is the one who will have that kind of breathing ideas and they will see to it that live things are manageable and maintaining that quality standards. But everybody is actually acting like a Steve only. I appreciate the entire culture of it. Even though the founder is not there, still the brand value is still continuing to have. The value is continuing just because they are trying to give you what they are promising. They're trying to continuously reinvent and improvise and give you a new version. Fantastic, right? And how much of organizational inbuilt culture and the organizing process supposed to be in place to make sure that this happens, right? And I appreciate that. And that is where, more than the brand, I'm appreciating the cultural values of internal systematically. So that is where you become unbeatable as a brand. They're not thinking outwards, inwards. That is, I have to be an unbeatable brand. They're thinking, I have to be unbeatable in my customer care, unbeatable in my technology prowess, so that I anyway become unbeatable. See that? Am I making sense? Right? Yeah. This is what I wanted to say for today. And of course, I do want to further, but the point is, I'm loving the audience to discuss.
Ma'am, I have one question. I think so that will help the entire cohort because these are my fellows, and I think so. So, ma'am, the thing is that as you've mentioned that you're working with international businesses and you're also working with the consulting part and training part. I wanted to understand from your perspective about a few challenges and nuances in the Indian learning and development or training and development scenario, and especially for the freelancers when it comes to industry standards. From your experience and from your expertise, like in terms of change management, also training is a very important part because that is how you put into the perspective. So, what do you think that there are a lot of gaps? What kind of gaps are there in the industry, and how we can overcome as an Indian industry altogether from the training and development perspective? What can be the steps, can be the changes from your end?
I'll be very humbly submitting the first statement is India still in that kind of mental makeup saying that learning means I don't know.
Correct.
Most of them they think that आपको जाना है इस वर्कशॉप में क्यों? Have you seen this? This is advertising. I'm trying to say as
Ma'am,
an advertising
yes, sir.
dramatically. Q?
I can.
Why Q? I don't know. Oh, I will. Yeah, you will get very few people when they will jump in to say that, Acha, you're nominating me. I will. First of all,
Mm,
at least 75% of the people will say Q.
mm,
Acha, you will go to Singapore, then okay, fine. You'll go to UK, then it's okay. So anything big reward comes for the learning, I'll go. Otherwise, learning itself, मुझे सब कुछ आता है. I've gone to so many learning programs. Why should I? So learning is not taken as a sophistication of self. Learning is still not looked at as if you have to evolve. Evolve process is still for people unless somebody has pushed you that you are outdated in the market. तब जाके मुझे learn करना है. तब तक तो you are already down. So this is where the thought process. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's a first
Ma'am,
statement.
Ma'am,
I
very
completely
true.
support you because, ma'am, I'm also like alongside UNICEF, I'm also building a small brand on training and development solution, training and skilling solutions. And this is one of the challenge when I'm taking the proposal, I'm meeting them, I'm telling everything, I'm giving everything. And like you said, creating the urgency also. Today I learned something new from the class that, okay, tell them that after 2 years, you'll not survive the market. That's
Exactly. That's a story. That's a story that you don't want to hear now, but I will tell you in a chocolate, saying that, sir, अगर आप सीखोगे नहीं तो आप मार्केट से बाहर हो जाओगे.
Mm.
There is a old ad, right? हेलमेट के लिए आखिर सर आपका
आपके सर
मर्जी
आपका.
आपकी, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Correct, ma'am.
DP
Ma'am,
sir,
actually,
you're smiling. Tell me.
ma'am, actually, it's a challenge, especially when we are also the part of psychology only.
Yeah.
So when the psychologist convince somebody that that's how you can get yourself recovered from if any mental stress is there, you are struggling with lot of confusions, health, people will not at all consider and listen to psychologists. They
Yeah.
will go to medical, they will eat up lot of medicine, then finally they will ruin their all the organs. Then finally they will revert back to psychology that I am fed up right now, and now you suggest me. That is how our roles is.
Yeah.
So, convincing for the training, even I also deal with the students and all. I tell them that you go for your basic aptitude test, attitude test, but they will not never. They will go to coaching people, they will pay heavy fees like 20,000, 30,000. And finally, if I say that you go for just a 16 PF test, go
Yeah.
for SWOT analysis, then they are no, they have never told us. So
Yeah.
that's how the challenge is with the learning and development.
See, we are into a kind of a very false ego game, huh? Right from the
Yes,
schooling.
yes,
So
ma'am.
that is where you have got the certificate, then you're already done. You have got this, then you're already got. You got the medal, you're already no. Your knowledge is different from your skill. You have not gone into. You have not gone into application. So I don't consider you unless you have applied your skills somewhere, right? So I'm not saying a ruthful and ruthless statement, but that is a reality. So when somebody is not ready for that, that is very obvious on their face also, right? They're very rude, they're very close, and their eye to eye contact is difficult. So you cannot. That is where, as Shivani's thing, in India, training is forced. I'm very sorry to say, even in the companies, you are being nominated, you go. Either you will get a reward as a bonus or a new trip, or you can take your family, or you can go to another country, or you will get a silver medal, or you will get a certificate. Basing on that, you will get points, rewards, or promotion. Then I'll go for a training.
Ma'am,
Otherwise, no.
in government, we'll be finding people sleeping during the
Yes.
training.
Yeah. So
Yes,
I did train your naval dockyard people, and I did train shipyards, ports, and national level. And the initial first 1 hour is for them. They used to give the same thing. I said that, sir, there is something called golden shake hand. Do you know that? They said that, what is it? Somebody says that yes, golden shake hand is shaking hand and telling that please leave, right? If you get golden shake hand in your company, you will understand how important to sharpen your blade. That is where it is important, sir. Yes, you are from dockyard, you are from port, you are from steel plant, fine, you get your salary whether you do it or not. Punching करने से ठीक है आपका performance, fine, but to what extent? See, you are not able to discuss, you don't want to do it, and how is it that your children will actually appreciate? What are you going to do? That is where you become very sloppy after some point. I'm very very clear, and I'm very okay to talk like that. I'm not here to get the appeasement. I'm not into fan following. I don't want fan following. पूरा क्लास मुझे अच्छा लगे, पूरा क्लास मुझे प्रेज करे, नहीं नहीं करेगी. बट आई एम ओके बिकॉज आई डिलीवर व्हाट आई एम सपोज टू डिलीवर. तब जाके मेरे को पूरा पूरा का पूरा क्लास फैन हो जाता है. आई टोल्ड देम, देन दे वर लिसनिंग. And people who are getting ready for retirement, they sit in the classroom and say that, sir, retirement के बाद आप consultant बन सकते हो. You can become a consultant and you are closing your window of opportunity for not learning. क्या बात कर रहे हो मैडम? Am I eligible? You are eligible. 35 years का आपका क्या है experience? Then why are you not thinking of upgrading yourself थोड़ा बहुत? Then you are ready for the market, no? Retirement के बाद, unless you say this, you are going to be obsolete in the market. You have other options. By learning this, even the one who is going to retire within 1 month started writing the notes in my class. I said, this is what I have earned today. Did I answer that? So this is a complex situation of Indian national culture. For every country, you have got a national culture. Learning is still looked down upon. It's not looked up.
It's the last priority,
Yes, but on a
not
daily
first
basis, if
priority.
you have got 1 hour learning on the book, I've got a logbook on my table, both at home and both at office. I have to learn something on that day. Either it is quantum mechanics, inception, books, right? When somebody gives me, I said from here to there, right? What is NASA doing? What is ISRO doing? I'll talk about everything. What is BrahMos doing? Everything I would like to learn and do it. And that is what makes me more, agile and very interesting. Are you first of all an interesting person to talk to? Then you are a change person. That's the last statement I say. How does
Ma'am,
interesting come if you don't
yeah,
learn? Yes, sir. DP sir.
should I add, ma'am? Because
What?
relativity will not happen.
even though, especially those who are telling that I am now 60 and 65 and I'm retired, so for those, the learning aids to their health also.
Yeah.
Yeah, the diseases of like Parkinson's and can be avoided by learning and development. If you are
Yes.
regularly on learning and development, you need not to go to trainer, any kind of fitness training center, any walking and all. The learning itself can avoid these kind of diseases and loss of memory and all. It's a scientifically proved, ma'am.
Yes, yes. Someone who is already, putting themselves into a kind of cycle, neurons will actually start, new neurons will come when your brain is surprised. अच्छा ये मेरे को नहीं मालूम था. Then there is a new neuron walked in. That's all. This is very dramatic. I'm loving the cohort. I'm liking the discussions.
Ma'am, actually, I was listening to this one Antarashtriya Hindi Vishwavidyalaya voice translator,
Uh-huh.
and it was about only reading. Just topic was reading,
Mm-hmm.
and sir has covered so wonderfully that there's so many things are there with the learning. And sir himself is, I think, 70,
Mm.
Professor Sinha.
Within,
Mm.
So
sorry
it
if
was
I'm adding
really.
something. Ma'am,
Yeah,
within
please.
our cohort, we have Chandra ma'am. I learn a lot from her because she is like always there for all the learnings,
Rao
and
sir is there.
I learn a lot. Rao sir is there, and for me as a youngster, these people are my ideal because I would like to be like them when I'm at my at this particular age point. So I really love to do it, and I'm thanks because today you solved something very important for me.
Hey, thank you, Shivani. Thanks a lot.
Today you solved, ma'am. Today you told me that, okay, next time I'm pitching, I'm going to tell them, see, this is what is happening now. This is what is going to happen later. Now you see within yourself what you want.
Yes, Chandra ma'am, you're saying something.
No,
Please.
I was thanking Shivani.
Yeah.
I could be a small spark in her life.
Yes, yes. You are, you are. So
For,
you being
for
there in
me
the
too,
part of
ma'am.
this program itself is great. Yeah.
No, you speak so well, ma'am. So it's a pleasure to hear certain things.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks a lot. So I'm loving to discuss more, and we will have more discussion based, and all of them like Boeing 787, Dasani, Coffee Day, as well as Bling H2O. All of them are very interesting stories for us. You don't have to be the Starbucks of the world, but how are you actually making and change your process? And my take back is Satyam's takeover by the Mahindra is a very interesting thing. The way that you are getting ready and how diversified you are, how confident you are to handle that kind of bizarre situation is not a joke. The whole world is looking at you. It's also a brand image, right? Thank you. We can close it with that, and that's a good discussion. And
Ma'am,
Shivani, I left my thing because I do have some couple of things in my mind for CSR in certain regions with to connect with the UNDP or so. Maybe we will have a call. I don't have your
sure.
number, so I left my number. Yeah.
I'll text you, ma'am. Ma'am, one more thing. What's the homework for the next class? You didn't give us the homework.
Sorry, sorry.
You didn't give us homework, ma'am. Last class you gave homework. I did my homework. I want another
Okay,
homework
okay,
now.
okay. So I was about to because otherwise you will brand me that ma'am is giving us from homework. So I restrained. But if you really would like to talk about, please do come back with origami, origami in NASA. How is it making a great design thinking orientation? Origami. One of the Japanese paper folding thing is making a lot of difference in even bigger items to make. Of course, they are not using paper; they are using some other kind of thing. But we will have how comfortable and adaptable even a agency like NASA is changing towards costing, towards design, towards adapting to a new technical technology plus material to experiment. And this is the level of highest level of experimentation with because it's a space thing, right? Yeah, we'll discuss that also.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah,
And when
thank
can I
you.
connect with you in the evening?
Yeah, please.
Maybe.
Yeah, 7 o'clock is fine. 7:30 is fine. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
ma'am.
Thanks a lot.
Lovely.
Yeah,
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, folks.
thank you.
थैंक यू मैम हैव ए नाइस डे आई थिंक हम ट्रेनिंग से बहुत ज्यादा बाहर निकले आज ठीक है
Yes.
Also, I'm very thankful to all of you people. बहुत दिनों बाद Dash 91 वाली फीलिंग आ गई आज मुझे सेकंड सेमेस्टर में पढ़
रियली
Ka-
रियली सेकंड वाला अपना सेमेस्टर काफी इट वाज
was
लाइक
very
एन
cold.
काइंड
ठीक है कर लिया हो गया बस